Bam, boy, howdy. This is Shane Immersed here, and you're here for one reason and one reason only. There is a new patch, and it has to do with these guys right here. Got some audio going up in there. So this patch is chiefly an audio patch. It has a bunch of other little fixes in it too, but we have a whole SDK thing going on with new audio. We got VRChat with all new audio. Um, Particularly, they're using the updated Oculus Spatializer for those who want to be tech nerdy and want to know about it. So we're running a VRChat 2019.2.5 this time. So this is the new version, build number 800 some odd, 825. And what we got going on today is, like I said, audio, and we're going to talk a little bit about the spatialization up. So they're going to start, not only are they going to lower their volume, but they're also going to do some low pass distortion. So when you're actually trying to talk to somebody nearby, the people 20 feet away from you who you're not even paying attention to, but they're really being like gawky loud, they're not going to bother you anymore, or they're going to bother you a lot less. This is a system where 120 degrees, roughly, roughly this much of people in front of you, so slightly larger than your peripheral if you're running VR. All those people you'll be able to hear coming at you full force. Anyone to your sides or behind you will not have that. They're going to be running at 70%, if I recall correctly. So that's really cool. I'm really, really happy about that, because there's nothing worse than being in a group of 18 people not being able to hear absolutely one person in front of you. There's also a lot of other features that have to do with the spatialization bit. Oh yeah, and of course they improve the voice quality a little bit too. So your friends will now sound weirder because it's going to sound more realistic. So, oh yes, almost forgot. They've also done this spatializer to not only people, but to the avatars. They have a compressor now on the avatars themselves. If you're trying to do a really, really loud sound, unsurprisingly, now it's actually going to pick up that loud sound and shove it down to a volume level that is respectful to other people. So hopefully that will eliminate a lot of the audio glitching that I've been hearing lately, where people would just totally bypass the audio safety system that was in the previous version and just blast audio as loud as they wanted to. Not anymore. You're all done. It's all done now. So that's good. We talked a little bit about the low pass filter on audio for people long range. We have a little bit of adjustment to gain in various sound channels for better audio balance, essentially increasing volume in certain situations where it's necessary. And you're also, and let me bounce you through to my camera here. Hi there. If you go into settings now, you're going to see something new. Audio volume has changed a lot. Now we have this thing called master, and as you can see, it's at 100%. And as you can see, it goes higher than 100%. And I can already hear stuff in the background making a lot of noise. I'm going to lower that. Essentially, the master system has been changed a little bit to accommodate different situations as far as hardware is concerned. So if you're good at 100%, leave it at 100%. You don't have to change it. If you're in a special situation where your headset is really bad, you can crank up the master, but be aware that it could get really loud. That's why they turn that 100% red. It could get really loud. They also have the UI menu tweaker. They also got rid of some of the UI menu sounds, so you might not hear the little beeping that you would have in the background when you're browsing through a world list or an avatar list or whatever. That's all gone now. I don't know why they exactly chose that, but I mean that's what it is. So now we have world audio, voices, and avatars. So there's no more sound effects or whatever it was, and that's because they've split it into easily understandable language, which is absolutely fantastic. I am very happy about that. You'll also notice that voice prioritization is gone. It is not necessary anymore because now we have the low pass filter and a whole bunch of other small tweaks to make the audio a lot more, I suppose. So those are the major changes that we got going on here in the settings system. So we're gonna get rid of that, and we'll put you guys back over here. Oh wow, it freaking broke. That's amazing. Okay, I guess I can't do that easily anymore. I guess they fixed that. So a fix that appears to have just happened. If you were to go into your camera and disable your camera and then bring it back, it resets the position to right in front of you. So if you like to do that, like back and forth a lot, like I see a lot of streamers do, you might have the same issue I had. Hold on, let me do that one more time to confirm. Disable camera, stream camera. Yep. Yep. All right. So that's something that I didn't see in the patch notes. Cool stuff. All right, what else do we got? Optimized UI audios for the Quest, so that should. I don't say it's going to increase any frames, but it's a little bit of progress there. IK performance in low FPS situations. You may in the past have had some jaggeds, like you're when you're down at low frames and you're trying to move your arm, and it's really not doing exactly what you're doing. Not to mention that obviously you're having horrible frames alongside of it, but they've added some fixes to make sure that even though it's not smooth, it's still working the way that you would expect it to when you're moving your body. So that's a welcome addition. Didn't happen to me. I have a 1080, but for people who have um, lower end cards or lower end processors, it's definitely an improvement for them. Added new world report reasons. Do you want to take a look at them? Because I want to take a look at them. Come here. Let's take a look at them. So we go into worlds. And then you go into the world that you're in. In this case, I'm in Moody. You go to report, and as you can see, the report world button is or report world window is much bigger. You can report it for text now, which is different. World image, which is different. Tags, which is different. Let's report this for environment. And we have a whole lot of new ones. So not just poor performance or hateful or nudity, disruptive audio, disruptive visuals. Not exactly sure what disruptive visuals might mean. I guess that's up to the interpretation of the individual. Broken. Okay, yes. That might be checked off a lot. Malicious and inappropriate. So we have a whole bunch of new report reasons, and I think that goes all the way down. And these are the tags that the person has used, I suppose, for this world, so you can actually report via tags if you wanted to. World image. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of new bits there. I'm really happy about because I don't know if you do, but I report worlds a lot, because there's a lot of really bad worlds, either in the nudity avatar territory. Sorry, got to keep this place kid friendly or whatever. There, I guess. Okay, so yeah, new tags. That's cool. World report reasons, even. I'm not sure anything about what upgrading to the Oculus Unity integration is doing, but if you're one of those Oculus people, I'm sure you're going to see some improvement there. The video helper binaries, I heard that this was updated several times during beta, and now videos should legitimately work. And I would test one for you, but I would get demonetized immediately. So we're not going to do that. All right, so fixes. There was an issue, if you recall correctly, where your face, but only your face, not anybody else's face, if you were talking and you stopped talking, your jaw might just hang open for no reason. And that was fixed in this patch. But there's some caveats that you may need to know if you're an avatar creator. Specifically, there's a very small change in how the blend shape viseme behavior works. So, or when you're defaultly not speaking, the SIL blend shape, SIL, so silence, the silence blend shape is essentially, I believe, used now to just shut the mouth when your microphone is on. And then when the microphone cuts out, all the blend shapes go to 0. And then that's the end of it. So that's the fix they put in. So if your SIL blend shape is something that's unexpected, then you may need to go into your avatar and tweak that. But I don't think a lot of people mess with their SIL. But if you do, now you know. Fixed foveated rendering now works on the Oculus Quest. Whoop-de-doo. An issue with line renderers being counted improperly on the Avatar part performance test system. That's great. Yeah, I was seeing some issues in the performance system. If you recall, that's the thing that they changed heavily last patch, and now it's really hard to use it because now it's kind of like I can go into that real quick. Actually, let's do that. Why not? I need an example. Come here, you. In the version previous to this one, you may or may not know this, but in case you don't, in the event that the individual had a lot of animations that created new materials, new polygons, you pick a thing, it counts all of them in this. So in the event that someone has like a dance avatar and it has a lot of, stuff that comes out, this would be affected and you would go immediately from good or whatever you were to very bad if that's how you had your system set up. That's how it still is. But now if we scroll down here, they used to report line renderers potentially incorrectly in the last version. They went and fixed that. So if you have too many, obviously if you have too many line renderers, it could affect your performance greatly. But now it's actually showing the line renderers properly, which will make avatar performance at least moderately better. I really hope that they figure out a system in the future for this avatar performance thing to not have to calculate everything at start of the avatar, like right when the avatar loads in. I don't need to know that, they have 250,000 polygons for animations when they're not going to use them all at the same time. So hopefully that gets fixed soon. All right, so we talked a little bit about the audio. Let's talk a little bit about ongoing stuff, and the ongoing stuff is mostly safety and security fixes, which we can't go into because they don't really disclose what the safety and security fixes are, and they have iterated once again on Network IK. There is still a situation where, and this is the primary problem that most people are having, by the way, if you have a object that you're writing with or a trail renderer or whatever, the IK for some reason is focused on your head. So when you move your head, you may see it or may not. I'm not sure if you can see it locally, but the arm kind of jerks, which jerks the hand slightly or turns the hand slightly. So when you're writing and you move your head, all of a sudden you may be able to read what you've written because it doesn't affect you very much locally, but to everybody else, you've written something like just garbled junk. So what you got to do is keep your head straight while you're writing, and everybody will read your stuff just fine. And that is an IK problem that is still ongoing as far as I know. I don't think it's fixed in this patch, but there is a workaround, and there you have it. So hacking away at the IK problems. Thanks, Networked IK. You at least maybe gave me some frames. There's still known issues with this patch. Some menu sounds are slightly louder than others. There's nothing major in the known issues section that you would be surprised to hear. There's been some website changes, and the main thing that we got going on is back to the audio again. We have a new SDK. We have we have some updates to the VRC object sync. If you make a world, you probably want to look into what those changes are. A reset local position and rotation through a send RPC. But if you do use position and rotation in your send RCPs, you're going to want to look at this. We also got multiple triggers and trigger types on the same VRC trigger component, which is huge. A lot of things can come out of that. And if you're a world designer, you should be super excited about that because I am. VRC trigger will now default to default layer mask and trigger individuals. So there's a couple less buttons that you have to push, which is fantastic. And the big thing is audio changes. Now they use a component called VRC player audio override. And this is the enhanced version of voice and avatar audio behavior. Very important that you read up on that because you can do a lot of cool things with it. For example, now if you want somebody to be louder than other people when they're standing on stage, bam, you can do that. It's not even a problem anymore. They get in, you set a trigger, and once they're on, they're louder, and once they're off, they're less. Really 5-second thing to do, maybe 5 minutes for the first time you do it, but this is great. This is great for karaoke. This is great for, except the audio sync and the karaoke. Don't worry about it. They're going to get on that too. And there's now also another audio component called VRC Spatial Audio Sources. It replaces ONSP audio source, if you recall. if I recall, ONSP audio source is audio things that you can attach to objects or just put into space, and they essentially make the audio for you. So it makes sounds, and they have added a new component with an updated uh, Oculus Spatializer to make those sounds sound a little bit better. So if you're into that, that's really important because I want to hear those. And then they removed some voice fall off ranges because now we have a new audio system. So it's all audio. It's 24 hours a day audio. It's everything that you hear is now different, and everybody now sounds weirder. So there you go. That's the patch. Worlds are stranger because the audio is different. People are stranger because the audio is different. There you go. Wow, I just did a whole 20-minute video and I just rounded it up in 5 seconds. All right, this is Shane Immersed here, all done with another patch. Get out there and enjoy that audio stuff because Pinky's been listening to me for the past 20 minutes, getting all distorted because Pinky's been wandering around listening to me babble on for way too long. So, all right, awesome. We're done. Have a nice day. Oh, I just grabbed the camera. All right. Have a nice day. Bye. Wandering this way to turn off the stuff. Excuse me.